In class 6, we have learned the names and symbols of some elements. The symbols of elements represent their names in short. Try to write the symbols from the names of elements given below in the first two tables at page 85. Here we have to learn the names of elements. Suppose aluminium. What's its symbol? That is Al. Then nickel. It is Ni. Then arsenic. It is As. Now zinc. It is Zn. Next boron. It is B. So these symbols are used to mean these elements. Aluminium is written briefly as Al. Likewise, nickel is written as Ni, and so on. But some elements have Latin names, such as tin. Tin, tin. Stannum. Its Latin name is stannum. We express it as Sn. You have to remember that its name is actually stannum. Then mercury. It has a very large name, hydrargyrum, and it is shortly expressed as Ag. Hydrargyrum. Next, lead, sisa. Mercury means parod. Lead, sisa. It is plumbum. Pb, plumbum. There are some names of and symbols of elements that originate from the names of famous scientists or the place of discovery or the native country of the discoverer or some planet, etc. How will they be written? Now let us learn curium. 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 Actually, Madame Curie discovered it, and this is written as Cm. Then Einsteinium. You have heard the name of the greatest scientist of the first part of the 20th century, Albert Einstein, and after his name one element was named, that is Einsteinum, and that is Es. Einsteinium, that is Es. Americium. The name is derived from America, then in the place of its discovery, we can assume, and it is written as Am. Likewise, polonium. Poland scientist discovered it. The scientist belonged to Poland, and she named it after her motherland, Poland. So it is called polonium or PO, and some other types are also used. There is uranium, we know Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Uranium is written as U, and Neptunium is written as NP, and plutonium is written as PU. Molecules are of elements or compounds are formed by the combination of atoms of elements. Now let's see how an atom is formed. Suppose, what are the molecules? Suppose this is a piece of chalk. Here it is a piece of chalk. You break it, then you further break it, and this breaking this, and then crush it into small grains, then again crush it, and ultimately a point will be reached when the smallest part of this chalk element will be found. The smallest part, suppose this is that, where every property of chalk is retained, then this is the smallest unit. You cannot break it down easily into further fragments. This is the smallest unit, and such units together make up this chalk, and so the smallest unit of chalk that cannot be broken down easily into easily further, and that retains all the properties of this chalk, that is called molecule. We are talking about atom, molecule and chemical. And before a molecule can be made up of one or more atoms, and so we should learn the structure of an atom. Now let's try to learn it. Suppose we shall learn about hydrogen. This is a hydrogen atom, and inside it there is a proton. And this proton is positively charged. This is positively charged. So it has electrical property. It is positively charged. And this interior, this core of this atom is called nucleus. So in the nucleus of hydrogen there is only one proton, and surrounding that proton one electron spins around it. it goes on spinning all the time, and it is negatively charged. So protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. Okay, so here is one positive charge and here is one negative charge. That means this positively charged particle, the electricity of this positively charged particle neutralizes the electricity of this negatively charged particle, and this as a whole hydrogen remains electrically neutral. There is no electrical charge. It is said there is no electrical charge. Actually there is a positive charge and the equal amount of negative charge. So the amount of electricity or a charge of a proton and an electron being equal, a proton and an electron in an atom together create a chargeless or neutral condition. And then we shall draw another picture of helium. And this is this part, inside this core part, that is called nucleus. It is also nucleus. So in the nucleus of a hydrogen atom there is only a proton, positively charged proton, and around it there is a cell, কক্ষ, through which spins this electrically charged electron. And in case of helium there are two protons. Suppose these are protons positively charged, and two neutrons, no charge, they have no charge, two neutrons. But as there are two protons, there must be two electrons in this atom, and the positive charge, the total positive charge of these two protons is equal to the total negative charge of the electrons, and these two electrons will spin around this nucleus. This is the structure of a helium atom. And so observe this figure. Again it shows the protons and neutrons are grouped at a small place at the center of the atom. This place is called the nucleus of the atom. Electrons revolve in different paths around the nucleus. The paths around the nucleus in which electrons can revolve are called orbits. Under normal conditions, the number of protons and electrons in an atom of an element are equal. Hence, the atom of an element in its normal state is chargeless or neutral, because its positive charges of protons positive charges of protons neutralize the negative charges of electrons. Hence, the atom of an element in its normal state is chargeless or neutral. The number of protons in an atom is called its atomic number. So, what is the atomic number of helium? We see that there are two protons. I have drawn it in blue, and so there are two protons. So, what is the atomic number? It's of helium. Its atomic number is 2. And what is the atomic number of hydrogen? Its atomic number is 1. And the mass of an electron the mass of an electron is about 1 by 1800 part of the mass of a proton or neutron. These are very small particles, you cannot see them with your naked eye. You have to you have to adopt other means to prove their existence. So the constituents of an atom are smaller, are more minute. That their mass is to be determined in a very difficult way. However, the mass of an it has very less mass. Its mass divided by 1800 will be equal to the mass of this electron, or the consider the mass of these neutrons. We call them neutrons because they have no electrical charge. They are chargeless particles that remain inside the nucleus. These neutrons, their mass or the mass of the protons are more or less equal, and the mass of an electron is about 1 by 1800 part of the mass of a proton or neutron. Hence, it may be said that the total mass of protons and neutrons in the nucleus is approximately equal to the mass of an electron. The mass of these electrons is very negligible. So, when we consider the mass of an atom, it is actually the mass of protons and neutrons. You can ignore the mass of the electrons. The total number of protons and neutrons in the nucleus of atom is called the mass number. Bhor sankha banglaয় বলি, mass number of that atom. Total number of protons and neutrons. How many protons are there in helium? 2. How many neutrons are there? 2. So 2 and 2 means 4. The mass number. Bhor sankha 4. Now there is a table. You have to fill up the following table using the diagram for the atomic structure of helium atom as shown on the previous page. Protons, electron and neutron, number of different particles. You consider the case of helium, there are 2 protons. So in the proton column you will write 2. There are 2 electrons, this and this. So in the electron column you will write 2, and neutrons are also 2. So in the neutron column you will write 2, and atomic number will be the number of protons is called the atomic number. So the atomic number column, in the atomic number column you will write 2, and mass number. These numbers, the number of protons and neutrons together constitute the mass number. So the mass number of helium is 4. In the last column you will write 4. Now let us inspect the diagram for the atomic structure of some known elements and come to the case of carbon and then sodium and chlorine. Now this is the structure of carbon. we write it symbolically as C. Here you see in the nucleus there are 6 protons, 6 positively charged protons and 6 neutrons. Neutrons have no charge, you know. So as there are 6 protons in the nucleus, there must be 6 electrons to neutralize these positive charges, because as a whole an atom always remains neutral. They do not have any electricity. They electricity in the sense that protons are neutralized, the positive electrical charge of protons are neutralized by the negative electrical charge of these electrons. So if there are 6 protons, there must be 6 electrons, but the electrons will revolve around the nucleus in 2 different orbits. In the first orbit, there you see that there are 2 electrons, and in all cases, in all the atoms, in the first orbit there may be maximum 2 electrons, and in the next orbit, here we see that there are 4 electrons spinning around this nucleus. So there are 6 electrons always moving about, always moving around this nucleus. 6 negatively charged electrons and 6 positively charged protons are there in the nucleus. So this is the structure of carbon, and now we shall look at the structure of sodium. Sodium chloride, you know, the table salt that we eat খাবার নুন, তো এর যে নিউক্লিয়াস, এখানে প্রোটন আছে কটা? 11টা. It has 11 protons, positively charged protons, and 12 chargeless neutrons. You know, neutrons are always chargeless, and I told you that in the first orbit there may be maximum 2 electrons. So in the first orbit, here we see there are 2 electrons, negatively charged electron. Next you go to the second orbit. How many electrons can be there? Here is a formula, 2n square formula. 2n square formula. N সমান number of orbit. This is an orbit, this is an orbit, this is also an orbit, this is an orbit, this is also an orbit, and the electrons are moving around the nucleus following this orbit. So this is the orbit number 1, this is the orbit number 2. So these are the numbers of orbit. How many electrons can be there in the second orbit? Second means n সমান 2 হবে, n equal to 2. Second, as this is the okay, let us start from the first orbit, where n equal to 1. So 2 into 1 square equal to 2. So there must be maximum 2 electrons in the first orbit. In the second orbit, 2 into 2 square equal to 8. Not more than 8 electron shall remain in the second orbit. Less than 8 electrons can remain there. However, as there are 11, we see there are 11 positive charged protons. There must be 11 electrons, and 2 are there in the first orbit. So in the second orbit, as it may contain just 8 electrons, you note them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in the second orbit there are 8 electrons. In the first orbit there are 2 electrons, means 10 electrons we have drawn. So go to the third orbit, and the rest 1 electron will be there. 2 আর 8 10 আর 2 না 1 আর 8 9 আর এই একটা আর এই একটা দুটো 11টা, মোট 11টা ইলেকট্রন আছে। টোটালি দেয়ার আর 11 electrons and 11 protons. So this atom, this sodium atom, sodium is called natrum, Na, sodium. This sodium atom is electrically chargeless because its positive charges are neutralized by the positive charges of the protons are neutralized by the negative charges of the electrons. And this is the structure of sodium. And side by side you note down a structure of chlorine. This is sodium, and here we shall draw chlorine. This is the nucleus. There are 17 protons, and there are 18 neutrons. As they are chargeless, these circles remain vacant to mean that they are chargeless. 18 neutrons and 17 protons. So in the first orbit there will be 2 electrons, as we have learned. In the second orbit there will be maximum 2n square formula, use 2n square formula, and there will be maximum 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons. 8 and 2 means 10, but there must be 17 electrons, and in the third orbit the remaining 7 will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. This is chlorine or Cl. This is chlorine, this is sodium. They remain side by side. So what will happen? And there is a tendency of each electron to contain the maximum number. There is a tendency of each atom to contain the maximum number of electrons in its outermost shell. We know how to calculate the maximum number of electrons an atom can possess in its outermost orbit. That is use 2n square formula, and here we see that there are 7 electrons in the third orbit. And another property is, in the outermost orbit every atom tries to keep 8 electrons. It has 7, you see. So it has a tendency of accepting electrons from any adjacent atom, and so that its number of electron in the outermost orbit, outermost cell, becomes 8. So it has the tendency of accepting one more electron from any atom that remains adjacent to it. Here Here also there is the same tendency, that is one electron moves around this nucleus through this orbit, and if sodium ejects this electron, leaves this electron, so this orbit will not be there, and in the second orbit there will be 8 electrons, and it is the tendency of every atom to keep 8 electrons in its outermost shell. So it has the tendency of giving away 1 electron, and it will do it. It will give it to chlorine, and chlorine will accept it. Now what happens? It gives away, it donates it. This is donated to chlorine. Then what will happen? You see, there are 11 positively charged protons, but now there are 10 negatively charged electrons. That means this sodium now will be called an ion. It is positively charged because the number of positive charge and the number of negative charge are not equal. One positive charge is more. One more positive charge is there. Now in this condition, when it donates the electron to chlorine, then it has 10 electrons only, whereas it has 11 protons. So it will be called Na+. That means sodium becomes positively charged. As a whole, it is positively charged. It is not neutral as an atom like before. And here what will happen? It has accepted 1 electron from this sodium, so its negative charge will be increased by 1. Here are 17 positively charged proton, but in the 3 cells, in the 3 orbits, there are 8 plus 8, 16 plus 2, 18 electrons, means 18 negative charges, and here are 17 positive charges. That means this chlorine will be negatively charged. 1 negative charge is extra. Here 1 negative charge is lacking. That means it is positively charged. Now it is positively charged and it is negatively charged. So these 2 atoms will attract each other to form sodium chloride, খাওয়া নুন। এটা তৈরি করার জন্যে এটা পরস্পরকে আকর্ষণ করবে। কেন না, ওর পজিটিভ চার্জ বেশি, ওর নেগেটিভ চার্জ বেশি, অতএব পজিটিভ এবং নেগেটিভ চার্জের আকর্ষণের ফলেতে একটা যৌগিক পদার্থ তৈরি হবে, একটা মলিকিউল তৈরি হবে, মলিকিউল অফ এ কম্পাউন্ড সাবস্টেন্স দ্যাট ইজ কল্ড সোডিয়াম chloride. Thus, atoms form molecules. This is one type of molecule, and sometimes we write O2. Oxygen লেখার সময় আমরা কি লিখি? O2. Chlorine লেখার সময় আমরা কি লিখি? Cl2. That means these molecules cannot remain remain singly. They 2 of these atoms form a molecule of the same element. এই অক্সিজেনটারই একটা মলিকিউল তৈরি হবে 2টো অ্যাটম দিয়ে, এটা সিঙ্গলি থাকতে পারে না।